or as many as you can, to memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day. All proceeds benefit local first responders and military charities. General donations are also accepted. Register today at 911towerchallengefoundation.org.
Get ready, Wildcats fans! We're bringing you the excitement as we kick off a new era in the Big 12. Tune in Saturday, August 31st as the Cats take on New Mexico. Kickoffs at 7:30, pregames at 3. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
If you're using Viagra or Cialis or have thought about using them, listen up. Zeldy is introducing Zeldy Hardies, new 2-in-1 dissolving tablets that get you ready for action in 15 minutes and keep you ready for up to 48 hours. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis, but cost 90% less than those brand names. You heard me right. Using both active ingredients and this quick dissolving mechanism allows sildenafil to work in around 15 minutes, and the tadalafil keeps you ready for up to 48 hours. It's powerful results that cost around 90% less. Text REACT to 200-300 to get started. With Zelty, enjoy fast, free, discreet shipping without the hassle of any awkward, time-wasting visits to the doctor's office. We make access as seamless as possible so you can focus on your life and your love life. Get your free medical review and Zelty Hardies, a new way to treat ED. Today, text REACT to 200-300 now. Don't wait. Text REACT to 200-300 right away. Text REACT to 200-300.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that split second, her life changes forever. The toll of breast cancer is great. The need to support those who are battling the disease today is even greater. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change a lifetime. United by hope, we can end breast cancer. Join our fight. Save lives.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man, hot, touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Air down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to kick off on Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
It is football Saturday in Arizona. A new era dawns on this August 31st, 2024. Not only a new era that involves yet another head coach for your Arizona football team, but for the first time since the late 70s, the Arizona Wildcats are playing in a brand new conference, the Big 12. That new coach, Brent Brennan, will debut here tonight at 7:30 when the Wildcats kick off against the New Mexico Lobos. A pleasant good afternoon to you from the U of A Mall here in Tucson, Arizona, on the campus of the University of Arizona. Welcome to our Window Depot coverage of Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm your host, David Kelly, joined as always by Glenn Howell, Kelvin Eafon, Glenn Howell, tight end, class of 1985. Kelvin Eafon, running back, the captain from 1998. It does not get any better than the first football game of the season. Always a warm one here at the University of Arizona. Hopefully no wet weather here tonight to spoil the party that is going to commence on a team, Glenn, that enters this 2024 season with 7 consecutive victories, looking to build upon that as they go into the Big 12 era.
Well, I'll tell you what, I could tell – I could feel what they're feeling right now because I remember when camp was over, you finally get to hit somebody that doesn't wear an A on their helmet, So you get to hit somebody else. So it's going to be real exciting today. And I know these guys are excited about the weather. It's nice and warm. It's good, even though the New Mexico boys are probably used to that weather. But still, we're real excited. And coming off a game, 7-8 wins that they've came off last year, I can feel that too because we've done that before too on my teams. So it's it's a starting of a new season and able to make the future is bright. Everything is looking positive, and you just got to go out there and play ball.
Well, we call him the captain, but he's got his cowboy hat on. He's the cowboy.
Oh yeah. You're gonna be disappointed again.
never
hey, well, they finally decided to dish out some money to CeeDee Lamb. So taking some baby steps there. We'll see if Dak gets his bag at some point or not.
They got Al Davis syndrome. Your guy needs to leave. He got Al Davis syndrome. So we were in the same boat.
Kelvin Eafon, the captain, joining us. Kelvin, obviously no better time than to start a new season. And again, this is a season that comes with a lot of expectations, with a large group of players coming back from that squad that finished last year at 10-3, 7 straight wins, and a victory over Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of expectations, 10-3, but I think you got to temper those a little bit. I mean, you have a new coaching staff here. You always have a big turnaround now, especially with the portal. Coach Fish taking a few guys there, a few guys going other places. So, I would say let's just temper that a little bit and let's give these guys a chance to play the football and come together. I mean, you got some great pieces now. You got some great pieces on that offensive line. Of course, you got Fafita back and T-Mac. So with that right there, of course, you expect to win a bunch of games. But at the end of the day, it's a brand new team, man.
Arizona playing their first game of the season. New Mexico playing their second. Let's take our first look at tonight's game.
Time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
And as it always is on a August in late August, I should say, in Tucson, a very warm one here to start this game. We mentioned a brand new head coach. Brent Brennan takes over for Jed Fish, who departed in January to head to take the program at the University of Washington. Brent Brennan, no stranger to this program, was a graduate assistant during the final season of Kelvin's coach Dick Tomey here at the University of Arizona, was a finalist, probably maybe the runner-up for the position back 4 years ago when Jed Fish was initially hired to take over the program. Guys, he comes into a pretty good situation. Obviously comes into a much better situation than Brent Brennan or than Jed Fish had when he was looking at a team coming off a 70-7 loss and having to completely turn around a program. Brent Brennan has some pieces to play with as he begins his tenure here.
Yeah, I think he does have a lot of pieces in place. It's just that, the thing that I liked about Brent is that he brought together a coaching staff I think that the kids are really excited about. You got 3 head coaches on that staff, okay, that have been former head coaches at Division I. Danny Gonzalez, Brent, and also Dino Babers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some experience on that coaching staff that knows how to take a program when you come as a new coach. They have that experience. They have that experience getting kids acclimated to them, getting to know them, all that kinds of stuff. So you got 3 guys on that team that has already been through that many a times. So I think that's a good sign for us. And I think by going to practice, when I was going to practice, I think these guys, they actually like each other, man. They really like each other.
Dino called them. He said, this is one of the closest teams I've ever been around. We'll hear him coming up here say that in a moment.
Yeah, and that's a key. Kelvin, that's the key, man. If you're not liking each other, you're not going to play with each other.
You're not going to fight for each other.
No, you're not going to fight, man.
You tell the story all the time, Kelvin, about how when you first went to the team, it was a bunch of guys that were really disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected, didn't really hang out,
yeah,
didn't talk football. And I was just totally surprised. But you look at this group, starting with a guy like Noah, you talking about a football guy. I mean, a guy that doesn't have the measurements but has the biggest heart, which you can't measure, but probably one of the biggest hearts in college football. So guys going to have to follow a guy like that because he's not going to have it any other way. I guarantee you, having all type of functions, bringing guys together, it has to be outside of football. Of course, you have to go to football practice because you basically paid with your scholarship to do that. But it's that extra time where you get together and study film and go out to eat and cook with each other. It's those things that really bond you and bring you together.
And Dwayne Keena said it, these guys come to practice wanting to learn more. That's a key. If you want to continue to learn, you're going to be a great player. We're going to see some good players come out of this program because kids want to learn. And if the best guys are in there doing it, saying I want to learn more, the other ones follow along.
And I'll add to that, and we always talked a lot about Jed Fish, and he brought a lot of pro guys around. But this staff right here, you go and look at the number of guys that they've put into the NFL, then they can also help develop you and help teach you the things you need to get to that next level as well.
And it's going to be a program with Brent Brennan that has a lot of the stamps of the great Dick Tomey on it. And we'll go back to his initial press conference when he got emotional talking about what Dick and Nancy Tomey meant to him.
Nancy, I can't even look at you right now, but the impact that I know that Dick and Nancy had on this university, but really on my path, this is embarrassing a little bit. I don't think very often in your life, when you work, you think about somebody every day. Like somebody, but that's what Coach Tomey's been for me. He's been the guy that every single day I think about what would Coach T do here. Coach T would kill you for what just happened in this game. That kind of stuff. We just love you and we miss him. And again, people make the place, and Dick and Nancy made this place home for a long time, and obviously did a lot of incredible things with the football program.
And we always heard about Dick Tomey, the sayings, the things that he would talk about that resonated, Kelvin, with you and the rest of the players that played for him. And we're starting to hear some of those same types of sayings coming from guys like Noah Fafita.
Yeah, man, I'm not surprised. I mean, especially with this staff that's here. I mean, you're talking about Tomey guys. Most of these guys got their coordinator positions from Coach Tomey. I mean, and they all end up going on and be head coaches. So a lot of those sayings, a lot of those things you're going to hear because those things are successful. Those things have, helped so many guys' lives. I still have it. Basically, I could bring the booklet with me, man, of all the sayings that I got from them because they just, it just reminds you of every day. It's something in there that reminds you about life. What's up? Mm-hmm.
I got Tremaine Bondurant's going to be joining us coming up later this hour. One of the best playmakers to play in this century for the University of Arizona. Let's hear from Noah Fafita and some of the things that he is beginning to hear about the legendary Dick Tomey and some of those sayings that are coming into this program.
It's not too different from how I was raised. Just kind of. It's always about the team. That's the main part, and that's just kind of Coach Brennan has kind of referenced that a lot. Coach Tomey's thing is the team, the team, the team. So that's just kind of how we're built. That's just kind of what we take pride in. And if we want to do what we want to do this year, it's about this team. It's about us. It's not about one individual.
Yeah, and again, it's this family atmosphere that these guys have created, and we saw it that day they walked down onto the court across the street during the first half of the UCLA basketball game to announce that they were coming back, and it's kind of built on that since that moment in February as they've gone into as they get ready to go into this first game here tonight.
Yeah, and I don't care if anybody calls me soft, but every time I hear Brent when he does that thing, I listen to that a couple times. I get teared up, man, thinking about what he thinks about Coach Tomey. Man. How that affects you in your life, of how you think about it every single day. That's and then he's going to bring that to our kids, and then if our kids are thinking the team, man, that's all you really need, man. If that's all you teach these kids, and they went 0-11,
right,
and they learned that would be the biggest victory of your coaching career.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mentioned Dino Babers, and you guys were talking about, Glenn, how tight this team is. It's something that Dino has seen. He saw it right from the moment he got here.
You guys need to write so many articles on that. It's ridiculous. I've been with special teams. The '98 team was a special team. I've been with teams that are extremely close, and I can go through all of them, and I got a lot to go through. I'm not sure this team's not the closest. We will see, because we'll have ups and downs and trials throughout this season, and we'll see how it goes when it comes to an end. But coming out of the gate, this might be one of the closest football teams I've ever seen.
He mentioned, obviously, Kelvin, your '98 team. What was special about the bond that you guys had?
I mean, I think what was special was we all had each other's back, man. I mean, we came to this. Most of us came to this team. It was a 5-7 team our first year, and we came out the next year and end up 7-5, and then took that on into a 12-1. And I just think it was just really about the family. We always said stay together, and no matter what the ups or the downs were, no matter what the situation were, we lost to UCLA and we ran out 7 straight. Guys just stayed together. It was just a special bond of guys that were just did whatever it took to get it done. It didn't matter if it was with Trung or OJ or Keith. It just didn't matter who it was. The next guy just picked up the flag and kept going.
Yeah, and I've been on some successful teams at Arizona, but offense didn't talk to the defense. We didn't talk to the defense. I see these guys hanging out before practice talking to each other, and that's something we just didn't do that. I'm sorry. And all our guys from 83 to 85 could chime in, because it was like there's some guys that are my friends now that I never talked to when I played football, because he was on the defensive side of the ball. And now they're my boys. I'm like, come on. I mean, it's like that's something that I had never felt here, but I think when I see this over here, I get choked up seeing that that's a good bonding team.
And I just heard you say that, and what was funny was it was that exact opposite on our '98 team. Some of my biggest competitions on the team were my best friends, Deshaun Polk.
Defensive guys.
Yeah, we had a war against each other every day in practice. Coach would put us one-on-one in a physical challenge, like blow the whistle, and it was up to him when it was over. He would blow the whistle, right? He'll start it and end it. And we had so many battles, but now when you go on that field, you know what that other guy got in him. He has no quit in him.
Exactly.
It's nothing like it, competing against each other, because that's who you have to go against first before you can get into these competitions. You have to go against each other, and you get a chance to learn about each other's heart in that situation.
Yeah, see, he had the battles, and then they talked after. We had the battles, and then we fought, and then we didn't talk to each other, even at training table. So that was it.
We did have to go. We did have to go into the room. And by the time we got back ready to eat, we got back together.
Yeah, all right.
It took a couple minutes.
I was like,
cooling off period.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We are out here on the east end of the U of A Mall, so come on over, stop on by. I've got some tickets we're going to be giving away. I think I've got 3 pairs of tickets to tonight's game, but these tickets don't come easily. They don't depart, I should say, easily. You've got to have your thinking cap on. So stop on by about after 5 o'clock. We're going to give away these 3 pairs of tickets, but you better know your U of A football history, because you're not going to get them if you don't. All right, let's give you your right way rundown and tell you what we've got coming up on the rest of the show over the course of the next 2.5 2 hours and 45 minutes or so.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll dive into our offensive scouting report in the next segment. We've got In the Huddle with Howell. Who's our guest today, Glenn?
We got the playmaker. The playmaker's back. We got Tremaine Bondurant. Me and Kelvin used to call him the playmakers because that's all he did was make plays. So when we needed a play, we're going to have him. We're going to find out. We're going to catch up with him. We're going to find out what he's doing now. He actually lives here in Tucson. And what is he doing? And then talk about some of the times when he was playing at the U of A.
All right, we got the defensive scouting report. We'll also go around the country, give you your scoreboard update. Second hour of the show, it'll be the Captain's Corner. Who do we have in the corner today, Kelvin?
We have David Henn, former player, 03, played with this staff. Also, son is a top recruit, Dijon Henn, here with the U of A.
So David Henn. There we go.
So I thought he would have a great perspective.
Absolutely. We'll have our Pest of the Game coming up, keys to the game, best bets as well. U of A 30-point favorite tonight here at the stadium. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show, along with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our window depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour one of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos. First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover. Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Do you often worry you left your garage
Debo coverage of U of A football continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of the In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985. I'm bringing in a little bit of my Prince 1982, that is 1999 DMSR. And my guest today is safety and Wildcat, honorable mention All Pac-12, 2011 and class of 2014, Tremaine Bondurant. How you doing, Tremaine?
I'm doing good, sir. Happy to be here, man. Blessed to be here on our first game of the season, and being with you guys is a blessing, you know, being with alumni and OGs that come from the program that I looked up to and heard about coming in here, so it's a blessing to be here.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you say that, and we're excited, but you don't have to call us sir.
I was
I'm gonna roll myself up here. Okay. So but Tremaine, we're really glad you're coming back today. You're in Tucson now. So what are you doing right now?
Man, I'm actually coaching. I'm doing a youth football program. We have a nonprofit called the Tucson Soldiers that I'm the president of, and I'm also a coach of a non-youth football team. So, you know, we doing great things, a lot of teaching, developing, and mentoring the kids. You know, so it's been a fun transition moving back and getting involved with the youth in the community and just trying to be there and help kids and try to get them to where I got and even farther than I took it. So it's a blessing.
And how long you been back here in Tucson?
I've been back here for about going on 4 years now.
4 years, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you know, everybody, when they come back, but, you know, a lot of people want to know how you got here. Yeah. So tell us about your story of how you got recruited here, and what was your story and what were your options?
Man, my recruitment story was crazy because my junior year of high school, I broke every record in my county, in my city, in my state, and I had no offers. And then I remember one of my coaches was like, man, we got to make you a highlight tape. Maybe you'll get seen if we make you a highlight tape. So I made a highlight tape. Me and my coach wrote down a lot of plays.
And where were you coming from?
And I was coming from California. My high school was Fairfield.
Fairfield, okay, because I'm from Northern Cal.
Yeah. That's it. See, I'm originally from Vallejo, but.
Okay, Vallejo.
Yeah, we went through the bankruptcy of the city, so the schools started closing the sports down, so I had to go to Fairfield High, which was a good school. Went there, did my thing. And then after I made my highlight tape, like I said, I ended up getting. I remember Coach Hammersmith called me on my phone and was like, "Hey, my name is Coach Hammer. I watched your highlight tape. I want to offer you a scholarship." And me being oblivious to it, like really not knowing how it would go, I was like, "Dang!" Like, and then a guy that was here before me that came from my same high school was DeLaShawn Dean.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of had that connection where I was like, "Hey man, plug me in. Like, tell them I'm a good player." Yeah. And then. Coach Hammer believed in me. He would come up to the school, man, and watch me in basketball season because I was really good at basketball too. And he would come up, like, just pop up on me randomly. I would be at lunch, and Coach Hammer would just, like, really show me he wanted me and, like, showed that he really wanted me to be here. So shout out to Coach Stoops and that staff for bringing me in. And, man, I couldn't be more grateful. They gave me an opportunity to do something special.
That's awesome. And we're in the huddle with Howell. We're talking to safety Tremaine Bondurant from the class of 2014. And Tremaine, tell us about how, when you got to University of Arizona, okay, you know, tell us about what your first play. Everybody remembers. I know, Kelvin, we talked about this. Your first play when you got on the field, when you first got on your first Pac-12 play, and you got on it. Tell us a little bit about that memory.
Well, man.
Well, who was it against?
Against UCLA when we had the big brawl and we had the big fight on the field. That was my first game ever playing at U of A. I remember getting in for like 4 or 5 straight plays, and I made like 4 tackles in a row, and I'm like, I'm actually good. Like, I actually, like,
you say, I belong.
I belong here. The stuff I'm doing at practice, I'm starting to see it. Like, okay, because at practice it's kind of hard to see where you stand when you're going against the same guys over and over and over. But I got out there first drive. I remember I made my first tackle. I was super excited. I remember like celebrating crazy, and then from there it was like, let's go. And then, obviously that game we had the big brawl, and the guy ran out on the stands from the stands like he was the referee.
Yeah.
We ended up getting into a big fight. So that's one of my, being my first game, that was a great memory for me because it was like, man, the first game I played, we got to showcase, what we can do as a team, and then me individually, I got to showcase that, I belonged in college football, and I was ready to take on the test.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that when we were watching, me and Kelvin, we've been doing this show for like 12 years, and it's just been amazing. And when we used to watch you, we used to always wonder, when are you going to make a play? Because that's what we needed, a play. We're going to have Tremaine's going to make the play. And, tell me what your best memory of making a play that you remember and describe it for us, how it happened.
Well, my favorite play of all time was my freshman year. I got my first pick six against the Colorado Buffaloes in Colorado. And I remember Coach Kish and all those guys, they put me in. They were like, look, man, we're going to play you. We see what you've been doing at practice. We love what you do. So I remember getting in that game, man. I was like, I got to get a pick. I got to do something different. And I remember.
So you were thinking about doing something,
man.
Before. See, that's what I'm saying.
I was
if
so
you
ready.
If you think you can do it, you can't do it.
If you think you can do it, you can do it. Because I was ready, man.
Hope you telling that to your kids.
Oh yeah, we tell them that, man. Believe in yourself. Have confidence. And I knew that game. I was like, I'm gonna get a pick six, and it just happened. The guy threw the ball. He didn't see me. I was like, he's throwing it. I knew. I was like, he's throwing it. And I caught it, got the pick six. I didn't even know how to celebrate. I didn't know what to do. I just started screaming like, So, it was one of those moments, man. But that was one of my favorite plays. I had a lot of plays that I can say that were special. But, just getting my first pick six. Look, they got one of my soldiers right there. They got one of my soldiers right there, man.
Yeah.
Much love. But
that's right.
I'm just saying, man, like making that play changed my life because it made me realize, like, man, hey, you're a special player. You have what it takes to play college ball and be someone that, I always wanted to be the guy that was the impact player when they started the game because I watched that on ESPN my whole life growing up. Like, I want to be one of those guys. And for me to get to that mark is special.
Awesome.
I know you coached soldiers. I actually was over there with you for a little while, trying to get my son involved with 11U. How important was it to play well for your teammates? I know you have to preach a lot of that when you're talking to talking to the kids and everything like that. How important was it to play well for your teammates and be there and make sure you were accountable?
Football is the ultimate team sport, so I try to preach that. I've always been taught that growing up, but when you love your teammates and y'all go through all that training and, like even with my guys, we went through a coaching change. So it was kind of like, it was all about the players for us. It was all about the camaraderie. It was all about being together. And I knew that I was one of the guys that was a playmaker that had to make plays for us to be successful. So my mindset was always team first and whatever I got to do for my team to win, or whether that's getting the interception, forcing a fumble, just getting a lot of tackles. My mindset has always been that. So, I was raised that way. I was brought up that way. But like I said, man, football is the ultimate team sport. It's the best sport to have brotherhood. So I just feel like if you in football not to, do it for your brothers and try to make plays for your team, then you in the wrong sport.
We're in the huddle with Howell, and we have our guest today is U of A safety Tremaine Bondurant is our guest today on In the Huddle. He's the class of 2014. He was all honorable mention, all Pac-12 at 2011. And Tremaine, you looked at you. I've seen you on your post, and you've seen that you've gone to the U of A and you checked out. You went to the coaching clinic. Yes, you're trying to improve yourself, understanding, getting knowledge for you can pass that knowledge on to your kids, and then you're at practice. You're watching our kids. What do you see about our kids that we have right now in this 2024 team?
A special group. Let's start with our key guys, Stan. A lot of guys could have went anywhere. Obviously our quarterback and our receiver, sure they have plenty of options to do whatever they wanted, but again, the brotherhood, sticking together, staying within the program and being great. But when I'm out there, I've been out there since spring, since the beginning, before the new guys came in. Even then, I've seen a lot of pro players, a lot of guys that have what it takes. I see a great defense that plays together with a great coach and a great staff. And going to the coaching clinic, opened my eyes. Being a coach, it just opened my eyes up so much more. I learned so much from Coach Akina, Brett Arch, and just sat in their rooms and just soaked up a lot of game from them, so I can go give it back to the kids and learn and become a better coach, a better man, a better person, a better teacher. It's just. But this team gonna be special. I think this team will do a lot of damage. I don't want to make any promises, but I do represent the Bear Down family. So, I want us to be in the playoffs. I expect us to be. I expect us to make a strong run. And I think we can, if we keep the brotherhood and play together, I think we can take it all the way. We just got to play football.
Well, Tremaine, before I get to you, obviously you're coaching the youngsters now, but I want to talk about Junior, because I saw a video where he stiff-armed 3 dudes to the ground on his way to the end zone. How is he enjoying playing this game?
He loves it, man. It's easy to when you got a kid that just loves the game, loves to train, loves to work. Obviously I'm a high expectations when you come from being an elite athlete. Overbear on my son. I try to let him be him. I do coach him hard because he wants me to. He wants me to hold him accountable, and he loves the game. But he's a great player, man. He has a lot of potential. He's still young. He's only 9 years old. So much more to improve on, so much more to learn from. But, the goal is to make sure he comes here. So as long as I'm here and, I can still stay a part of the program and just always be involved, I want to make sure he goes to a great school and represent the right way. He's doing a great job, man. He's a good. Football is everything, but he's a great student.
Yeah,
he handles his business. He's a great kid, respectful, and that's what I'm more, proud about with him is that part of it. The testament to people always tell me, man, you do a great job with your son. You raised him right. He's a good kid. Every time I'm around him, he's respectful. So the stiff arms are great. The touchdowns are great.
That's the greatest thing.
That's the greatest thing
when they tell
for
your
me.
kid is good.
Yes, sir.
And me and Kelvin both have sons, and we have I have a daughter, and we trained our kids.
Yes, sir.
So it's tough. It's not easy. Yeah. It ain't easy because sometimes you want to get deep into them. Because I had my son, and my daughter. I wanted to get deep in because it's like hey. You got to put in the effort. It'll pay off. And sometimes they just don't get that. But it's tough for us. And I applaud you for doing that and keeping your son active and keeping him going, and also in school. So when you're coaching kids, what is your philosophy? Tell us what your philosophy is. What is your go-to when you're dealing with kids? What is your philosophy?
First thing is just building a relationship with them, getting to know who they are and making sure that they understand who I am and how I'm always honest with my kids. I let them see what I do. They know that I do other things outside of coaching and training, and also, I've done music my whole life. So I do things like that. I involve my kids and stuff like that, but just always try to really get to know them and build a bond first, and then development. We want to develop these kids on and off the field. Not just, we can teach them feed work, we can teach them all that, but we also want to teach them how to be great young men and women in the community, knowing how to act when they go out, when they're at school, how to act, respecting their parents. I think that's the most important part for me, because the football part is kind of easy to teach them and develop them. I take everything that I've learned over my years, a lot of things I learned from the coaches clinic, and try to implement the football side. But I think, building that relationship, building the bonds, having them over at the house and, barbecuing, swimming, and doing things like that to where they can trust me. They understand, man, Coach got my back.
Yeah.
Coach showed me love. If I need anything, I can call Coach. If I need to talk, I can call Coach. They parents know they can also count on me as well. So I think the biggest thing is, as players, right, we always loved the coaches that were player coaches that understood us, that we can relate to. Even if they were hard on us, it was always hey, I'm hard on you because you're not going to your potential, or I'm trying to make you understand who you are and what you can be. So I try to keep a good balance of that and just let them know, hey, be confident, man, because You kids are great. Y'all train hard. You work hard. So when you put the work in, you should embrace it.
And like I said, I've been around them, man, and you guys do a great job with those kids. Those kids will follow you guys anywhere, man. And I second what he said about his son, the most mannerable kid, man. I mean, besides football, cool, great football player, but just a good kid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very respectful.
Yeah, and that's I think that's as parents, that is the best reward of all. If some parent comes up to you and goes, "I've met your kid. Your kid is, respectful. He's a good kid. He looks out for other kids."
Yes.
And I always used to tell my kids, like, when they go into school, if you see somebody bullying somebody, you go up there and step up, and do that. That kind of stuff. You got to be something, because that comes back for you. I think it absolutely does. So what do you think about the game tonight?
Well, they said we were 30-point favorites, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm expecting to see. You know what I mean? But I'm just excited to see the new regime as far as the coaching staff, and I know a lot of them. Shout out Coach Alonzo Carter, being a Bay Area legend, and I mean I've been knowing about him since I was in Pop Warner. Marshawn Lynch days, and he's an Oakland legend. And meeting him here was so dope because once I told him who I was, where I was from, and he kind of knew things about me, and then the connection was right away. We clicked right away, and then all the other coaches, Coach Brennan is super cool. Yeah. So I really think
don't you feel like you want it? You're like,
I love it
you're
here,
welcome.
Man. Honestly, I'll be sitting back like, man, if I could have played in this time with this guy, things could be different, but I'm blessed, man. I had a great time. I had great teammates. We accomplished some great things during my term here. So, I love the U of A, man. I tell people all the time, it saved my life. From where I come from, and the neighborhood that I grew up in, and my dad being in prison when I was young, and growing up with a single mom, and really like I told you, I didn't even know how to get recruited in high school until somebody told me. So, being here and even being back here, I think it's full circle for me. Helping the kids, being involved with the community, this staff being here where they're allowing me to get involved. And eventually I want to be on the staff. I want to help coach. I think I could come help, Coach Brett Arch in that safety room and learn from him. But I don't care what it is. I'll be a GA. I just want to be involved. And I think this team is special. I think they really have what it takes to take the next steps, and let's go get that Big 12. I'm a Pac-12 guy, but that Big 12, let's go run the table and let's get in that playoffs and show them that this university is a powerhouse, with the right coaches and the right players, and I think we have that.
And what we recommend to you, man, is keep asking.
Yes, sir.
Keep asking. I want to be with you guys. I want to be a GA. I want to do that. I want to volunteer. You got to keep asking. Okay. Because if you don't keep asking, they don't think you won't. Yeah. So you got to keep asking. So that's all I can say for you to do. Well, we want to thank Tremaine Bondurant for coming in. We want to really thank you very much for coming in, bro. It's been great talking to you. I'm really excited about what your future and what you're doing with kids. It's exciting to see that. And we appreciate you coming in the Huddle with Howell, and we appreciate it and have a good time tonight at the game as we get up by 30. By 30.
Let's do it.
We got to hit it. All right, that'll be it for In the Huddle with Howell. And we appreciate all the listeners listening in. And we want to thank, it's brought to you by In the Huddle with Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
As coach of the Wildcats, I know the importance of teamwork. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Is your AC system more than 10 years old and costing you too much in repairs? Beat the heat, call Right Way. Get a new system with 10-year parts warranty, 10-year labor warranty, and 60 months no-interest financing. Make replacing easier on your wallet. Call today.
Don't delay. Call or text 520-657-0699. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic. Good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic offers military discounts to retired and disabled veterans. And they now accept patients with excess insurance. For more information and to find the location nearest you, visit firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires. And right now, we've got more rebates and savings than ever. Now's the time to buy. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the details. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stooks. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And we're back out here on the U of A Mall, and it is raining something fierce. I mean, we got so lucky last year. We did not get a single day of rain, and then in that second segment there, the skies have just opened up. Now, it's just a hard rain right now here on the U of A Mall. It's not necessarily anything too stormy per se, which is probably the good thing. It's just a hard rain. We can survive a hard rain. Nothing wrong with that. We've got a couple of additions to the tent up to keep us from getting wet here. But we're going to plug on, and we appreciate Tremaine Bondurant for joining us there in the huddle with Howell as we get you set for Arizona Wildcats football. The season opener tonight against the New Mexico Lobos. The Lobos coming in at 0-1 on the season as they lost their opener last week at home to the Montana State Bobcats. Let's talk a little bit about this offense that is coming back this season for the Arizona Wildcats.
Here is the Wildcats offensive scouting report for today's game.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Takes the snap out of the gun, back to throw, looking deep, fires over the middle, and it's caught at midfield, and open field running down to the 40, 35, down to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and out of bounds. Tetero and McMillan, first and goal, Arizona at the Sun Devil 5.
Noah Fafita is on fire. He just finds T-Mac on a simple crosser, and he just outran everybody all the way to the corner of the end zone. What a play by Arizona.
That is indeed, it was a great play there by Tetero McMillan. That was in the game against Arizona State last season, one of several pieces back on this offense, and that is one of the reasons why the Arizona Wildcats enter this season ranked number 21 in both the Associated Press preseason top 25 and the USA Today coaches poll, the first time in 9 years that Arizona has begun a year ranked in the AP top 25. Noah Fafita, again, a lot of eyes are going to be on this redshirt sophomore quarterback, or actually I believe he actually might be a junior now on his years, Noah Fafita. He is listed as still listed as a redshirt sophomore, so still 3 potential years for Noah to play as the starter here. And although all the eyes are on Noah, he understands that it really is not just about him, and he really loves the cohesion that this team's got coming in to this season.
I think last year was more about kind of myself and really taking care of what I had to take care of, and now this year it's about the team and kind of having cohesion through all the position groups and not just worrying about my responsibility. So that's the biggest difference, and we have some really good people in our building, from coaches and players, that make my job easy to this day.
And Dino Babers, the new offensive coordinator, coached here obviously back in the late 1990s during Kelvin's time here. And I tell you what, Dino Babers is just a quote machine. And we'll start with his impression of Noah Fafita.
Noah was going to always be the starting quarterback. When you meet him, you just understand why, that it's not even close. He is as comparable to any quarterback I've ever had off the football field mentally. The only person I can compare him to is Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's still in the league. Noah, as I said before, and I'll bring this to a close, is not normal. He's different. Thank God for that.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. And even, listen, Jimmy, everybody talks about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's still in the league, man. I mean, the guy's played, like 10 years?
Right.
10 years, he's still in the league because somebody believes in him. You know, it's there. And to have that mentality of understanding the game, that's the thing. Sometimes you physically can't do the game, okay? But understanding, I think sometimes Jimmy gets pulled in to help the guy that's better than him, you know, to help the guy that's better than him. So that might be a thing that he does. But the thing is that Noah he has the ability, he has the physical ability to be a great quarterback.
And when you look at, I think one of the things that's been a big question mark in this fall camp, guys, has been what we're going to have tonight on this offensive line. It doesn't look quite exactly like what we thought it was going to look like when camp started. Raymond Polito, not with the program this year, was expected to be the guy on the blind side for Noah Fafita, playing that left tackle position. Instead there, you're going to have a young man by the name of Rhino Topautau. I knew I was going to mess that up again.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been trying to practice that too myself. Believe me.
Tapa Ototai.
Yeah.
Tapa Ototai. Rhino Tapa Ototai is going to be your left tackle, and he's a redshirt freshman. He'll get his first start tonight. He's been working against veterans like Trey Smith, who's also a transfer here from San Jose State. Here's what Trey Smith had to say about Rhino on that left side.
I want to make this clear. It's not to say that I didn't think Rhino – it's not to say that I think Rhino lacked grit before, but he's just a gritty, like, he wants it. He works extremely hard. He's working on his technique and everything, and he's going to make sure that he gets better. He's taking tons of reps. Like, sometimes he doesn't get right, guys, and he is, like, that's grit, and I respect that. I respect him for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've always thought when I was watching him during camp and even during spring, I just thought he had some aggressiveness to him that was just it was really nice to see as an offensive lineman. Let's just put it that way. I can't, since we're on the radio, I can't say the things that I want to say, but that's what I liked about him. And before, I used to not see him. He was kind of a nervous kind of guy when he was at practice. Now he's free and loose. I think that, I don't know, I see that. I wanted to ask Coach Oglesby if that is what he has seen. He's more relaxed. So when you're more relaxed and you're a starter, that means that you have confidence in what you're doing, man, and you know you're doing good. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at it, having him on that left side, that's guarding the back. They have to have tremendous trust in him for him to have that position as a redshirt freshman.
Right.
So you're going to need an aggressive guy that has an attitude that you do not want to let anyone touch your quarterback.
And why do you think they did that? Why? Because there was a lot of talk about whether or not they thought maybe they might move Jonah Savianaya from the right side over to the left side because he is more experienced. Why do you think they made that decision to keep it the way that it was with Rhino on the left and Jonah on the right?
Well, I think one of the reasons is because you want to do less change as possible. I mean, if you move that guy, now you're having to move two guys, and that's two position changes. You already have a new guy in the starting lineup on the line with Ryan Stewart, so now you will have three. So I think you leave Jonah over there because you can always switch him back if you need to. And then the second thing is Big Rhino just playing well at practice where they felt like that they can go into the first game this way and see how it looks.
And plus, he's a freshman. He's a freshman.
Yeah.
So why not stay with him and let him, if he's playing good in practice, he's a freshman. So let him play, and he gets better every single time, man. That's what he'll do. He'll get better every single time. And I'm excited to watch him play.
And Kelvin just mentioned Ryan Stewart expected to start at right guard. Leif Magnuson has been unavailable since the second practice of the fall camp. Brett Brennan on Ryan Stewart, who is one of the players that came down with this staff from San Jose State.
He started for us as a freshman at San Jose and then had an injury that sat him down, unfortunately, So I think we knew there was a lot of potential there, and I think that's been something that we're encouraged about so far. I think it's going to be something we continue to watch. I mean, I think the first game, the starting lineup is whoever they are, but it's still up for negotiation. You know what I mean? Like, you play well or you don't. Right? If you don't play well, we're going to play somebody else. You know what I mean? But he's done a really good job so far.
Is it really up for negotiation?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
If you don't play well, I don't know if there's going to be too much negotiation to get your spot. Continue playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're deep at the offensive line. They got a couple of guys that can play. You got Dose. Is going to be good. Deuced and Wooten. Wooten's going to be good.
Early, so
I mean, those guys. I know, but those guys are good. The guys that they brought in are in those top, 8 guys, 10 guys. So they did a good job of recruiting. They did a good job of. I don't think they're doing it to cover themselves. That they're putting them in there because they, say we're doing a good job recruiting, because they're putting those guys in there because they're playing well, and if they're actually telling us that they're coachable, because they got a new coach and they're coachable and they're learning the new techniques and stuff that Coach Oglesby has given them, and they're running with it. So that's a good sign.
All right, that is our first look at the offense tonight for your Arizona Wildcats.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet, get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, nothing like a little hard rain, but the rain has subsided. Hopefully that will be the end of it, and we'll start to dry up. I'm sure it's going to get humid here real quick, but it has cooled down a bit. With that rain, a storm that came through. Just a rain storm, hard rain, and nothing, not very windy, which is very fortunate here tonight. Just a little wetness, and of course we'll have football on turf tonight, so it should not affect tonight's game in any respect unless we get more rain and thunder coming up a little bit later. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, hour number 1 in the books. Much more is coming up straight ahead, so stay with us. We're going to go into the captain's corner in the second hour. David Hinton will join us. He is the father of a recruit, an Arizona Wildcats recruit, as well as an Arizona football alum himself. Kelvin Eafon is with me along with Glenn Howell, J.W. Madden. Running the controls, I should say. Manning the controls is the madman, Jay Madden, back in the studios. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polson Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Dave & Buster's is the best place besides the stadium to watch football this season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on a chance to win a big game watch party at D&B in front of the big screen. Make Dave & Buster's part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is trivia night, and Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on select beverages. Take your football season to the next level only at Dave & Buster's.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Joel McHale, live.
It was colder in Winnipeg than it was on Mars. What did the people of Winnipeg do when it was colder there than Mars differently? Nothing. They sent their kids to school. They were just like, run!
As seen on Netflix, Friday, October 18th, 8 p.m., Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Sahuarita. Tickets on sale now at the Rewards Center or online at etix.com. Don't miss Joel McHale, live.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
The summer is long in Tucson, and it's not over yet. Our team at Pixrocks Cooling has put together a $69 service call August special. Pixrocks Cooling, keeping you cool all summer long. Proudly featuring Rheem air conditioning systems. Call us at 520-492-0748 or pixrockscooling.com.
Pixrocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got him in. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Air Downcast. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to kick off on Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And we're coming to you live from the U of A Mall here, where it is continuing to rain just a little bit here as we get you closer to kickoff coming up at 7:30. It is, we still got about 3.5 hours to go before kickoff here tonight. So head on down if you're looking forward to getting in some tailgating. Still plenty of time to do that for sure. We're here on the east side of the U of A Mall by the monument, and I'm with, as always, Glenn Howell, U of A football class of 1985, the tight end, the captain, Kelvin Eafon, the running back from 1998, Wildcats and the New Mexico Lobos here tonight. They also had some volleyball on campus today. Arizona Volleyball was playing over at McHale Center. Always great to have 2 things happening on game day, although it doesn't always work for the traffic. But Arizona knocks off Virginia Commonwealth by a score of 3-1. We'll get more into what happened over at McHale Center when we get to our scoreboard segment coming up later in this hour. But right now, guys, we want to take a look at this University of Arizona defense.
Let's look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. The Cats with the ball. They pick it up. They'll take over at midfield.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Back to throw, time, surveying, looking, throws as he's hit, and it's picked off. That's intercepted at the 40-yard line. Hardy on, Trayton Stukes with the pick.
Trayton Stukes named a captain for this year's team earlier this week. What a tremendous story that has been for the young man from the Valley, a walk-on here in 2020 on a team that was not very good. Found his way onto the field at the end of that season. I was telling Kelvin earlier this week, I remember the 70-7 blowout against ASU and seeing him, going back afterward and watching some of the tape and wondering, like, who's this young kid, Stukes, and thinking he looks like he might potentially have a pretty good future here at the University of Arizona. And boy, has that panned out. Got a scholarship the next season in where he is a captain who Dwayne Aquina calls one of the most underrated players in the country.
Yeah, I mean,
The program's in a completely different spot than it was when I got here. The fan base is in a different spot. The national attention we're getting is in a different spot. And it's all a testament to the guys in the room that trusted the processes of any new staff that got in here, believing in one another, loving each other. And, you know, we're finally seeing the fruits of the work we put in since way back when.
Before we get to talking about trading, we had some looks like some Tyler Loop fans that just walked by. We'll talk about him.
I think it's mom and dad.
We'll talk about him a little bit later because that young man has been kicking the ball about as good
they might
as
have to test him.
any kicker that I have seen in fall camp in the now 17 years that I've been doing that. But Glenn, I just want to get your thoughts on Trayden Stukes and the distance that he has come to put himself in a position now where he has a chance to play a senior year and show that he can potentially maybe even play on the next level.
Well, you know, the continuing theme we have, where I would keep on talking about these players, is that they continually want to get better. They're getting smarter instead of just not all physical play. Right. It's learning the game. And I spent probably about 2 hours with Dwayne Aquina at our golf tournament up at La Paloma, and he was telling me that Stukes just really like wants to learn. He's a smart kid. He wants to get better. He's always asking questions. He's transferring the information he's getting in the building and then taking it out to the field. That's the biggest thing. A lot of the dudes we know, Kelvin, you get in the building, but you can't transfer it out to the field, okay? Because there's a lot of people that don't do that, okay? But if you're doing that and you continually want to get better, that is where you become a pro. That's when it happens.
And what I love about his story is a walk-on, a kid that betted on himself, that's from the state, that didn't have opportunities to go play other places, and now, look at him. And I says it gives these kids here an inspiration that sometimes you have to bet on yourself. In this new climate of football, you have to bet on yourself sometimes because of all the transfers and the different things. You might not get the same opportunities that were afforded before, but go for some of them walk-on opportunities that back in the day that people kind of looked down on.
Yeah.
Like, walk on, you'll never get to play. I think with the new day and times, man, you get opportunity to get into a camp and you go make something happen, and before you know it, you're on special teams and start, and now you got a scholarship. So there's a path, and kids like this prove that there's it.
And the thing is that people don't understand, just like you said, Kelvin, walk-ons is hard to come by.
Yeah.
Now, walk-ons are hard to come by. Walk-on, if you're a walk-on, you're pretty good. Yeah. You are close. You are close, but you might have just been there when they ran out of scholarships. Yeah. So they'll say, hey, we want you here because we don't want you to go somewhere else. So that's the thing, is that walk-ons, it's not easy to get a walk-on. That's why kids, when they always tell me, oh, I'm going to try to walk-on, I said, you know how hard it is to be a walk-on? I said, you just don't understand.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's not like the
it's
80s.
Automatic.
Yeah, it's not like the 80s, man. Right. We don't do that.
This might be the last year they run out of scholarships.
I'm telling you. Because
they're going to have a whole lot more to give out starting next year for sure. And obviously, one of the big storylines on this defense is another cornerback. You've got Trayden Stukes playing in the slot. He came off the boundary last year because the Wildcats had two talented young up-and-coming redshirt freshmen in Ephesians Prysock and Takario Davis. Ephesians has moved on. We'll get to his replacement in a moment. But Takario Davis last year, 15 passes defended, 16 passes broken up last year, and now considered to be one of the best cornerbacks in the country is Takario Davis. He was asked how he's dealing with the hype of potentially being a first-round pick.
I don't really feed into none of that. I just come every day, show up, try to be the best version of myself every day.
How would you kind of critique yourself in training camp? How do you think you've done and you're doing?
I feel like there's always a room for improvement, but I've been doing pretty good. Just keep stacking days and taking it day by day, getting one day better And that's my goal. I can't do it all in one day. Just keep stacking days, being a better version of myself each and every day, and come to compete, having fun, and knowing I get this one time.
One of the things he talked about with you is this idea of being a complete cornerback. And part of that, he said, is finishing the play, catching the ball, and getting the interception instead of knocking it down. What have you been doing to work on that aspect?
I be with my boy, he a ball boy named AC. I be getting like jugs with him, or he throw me the ball, me getting out of my breaks, or deep balls, or we like have a little tennis, little back to forth throwing together, and that's really it.
And I want to ask you, Kelvin, Glenn and I had this conversation earlier this week. People have put Takario on this pedestal. I mean, there's talk that he's going to be a first-round cornerback. Now, I still, when I look at, again, this is year 17. When I look at guys that I think are at the top of the cornerback list, for me it starts with Christian Roland Wallace. But Christian Roland Wallace did not get drafted. He was an undrafted free agent. He's currently been able to make the Kansas City Chiefs roster. But where do you see the differences between those two that make Takario potentially a first-round pick?
Man, those stats.
Yeah.
Never won those stats. I mean, and then when you look at 6'4", 190,
yeah.
I mean, there's just that size, and with some of the size that some of the teams that are receivers are that's in the NFL, he matches up. He matches up against those guys. So I just think that it has a lot to do with that. A lot about being in the first round is more potential than anything. And I think when you look at a 6'4", 190 athlete that has made plays like he made last year, I think that's what puts him in that conversation. If he can make those same type of plays this year, he's a shoo-in for a first round for sure.
Because you said the numbers, Dave. What was it? 14 and 14.
He had 15 passes broken up and 16 passes defended.
16 passes defended. He should have had.
But see, to me,
he should have had 12 because he could have had 4 of those. Could have been big
interceptions.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. If he had
but
some
see,
hands.
To me, I always thought, again, now people were picking on him,
yeah.
and he lived up to it. My whole thing with Christian was no one ever threw at him because they didn't want. They knew that they couldn't throw at Christian Roland Wallace.
Yeah,
that's why I always thought that he was so good because quarterbacks didn't want to test him. Offensive coordinators didn't want to test him.
Well, I think in this league, in the Big 12, they're going to test him. They're going to try and test him,
sure.
and I hope they do. That's just going to make him good. And, you got iron sharpening than iron when you talk about T-Mac, Jermaine, Jeremiah, you got, the tight end, Burnett, all these guys, and Montana, Lamonius.
Correct.
You got guys that are great receivers. Yeah. You're just getting better every single day.
Yeah.
So that is really good. That's what I think is going to be really good for him going against T-Mac, a big receiver, because there are going to be some big receivers in the Big 12.
Well, we talked about it. And the numbers speak for themselves, as we mentioned. 16 passes defended last year, but as you said, Glenn, just 1 interception. And the defensive backs coach on this ball club right now, Chip Viney, says that's the one thing Takario Davis needs to improve most.
Catching the ball. All right. Just finishing the play, right? Being there is not enough. Emphasizing actually finishing the play. But I would say from an overall standpoint, one of the things that we've challenged him with is being a complete corner, right? What comes along with finishing, right? Being able to play on tight ends, fit in the run, being the edge of the defense, a leverage point guy.
Okay, so what does he mean when he says be on the tight ends? What's a cornerback's role there?
Quarterback. Well, you're going to see in cover 2, he's sitting at the numbers. He's coming in, so he's got that guy coming across. Because usually that is a bootleg, and they're coming across. So you got to be responsible for that tight end coming across, and you got to light him up too if he comes past the numbers. Because I'll tell you what, I learned that one time. Getting past the numbers and you get hit, you get lit up by Martin Rudolph. He hit me, and I was like, okay. The coach told me don't go past the numbers because I faded and rolled towards the numbers. You got to stop and catch the ball before the numbers, and that's where those corners are sitting there on the cover 2. So, and also if he comes with the the receivers, the wide receiver. I mean, the tight ends are going on that post corner.
Yep,
he's got to be available for that, and those are big guys. So he's got to use his length.
And that's what I heard. I heard he has to be physical. When he's talking about fitting in on the run, that's coming up and making the tackle. And anytime you hear a cornerback having to guard a tight end, that's talking about being physical. It's nothing but a size difference because you have the speed. So he want to see him being able to win the defense when they shift the offense over to the other side, and that tight end is the number one guy. You got to be able to stop him. You got to be able to make a play, either to knock the ball out or to tackle that guy. And it makes your defense stronger. So what I heard from that coach was he needs to show that he's physical.
Yep.
All right, we'll chat more about the Arizona Wildcats defense a little bit later in the show.
And that's a look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. Here comes the rush again. He's sacked by Jacob Manu.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, the Right Way Rundown for this hour. We've got the scoreboard straight ahead. We're going to go on the captain's corner with David Hinton, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Also, the pest of the game. Who's going to be that Lobo that's going to get underneath the skin of the Wildcats tonight? Best bets. The over-under on this one tonight is 59. You taking the over, you taking the under. Plus, we'll give you our BetQL 5-star plays. We'll see how we're doing there and keys to the game. This is our Window Depot Arizona Game Day coverage. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm with David Kelly along with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rockin' KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Joel McHale, live.
It was colder in Winnipeg than it was on Mars. What did the people of Winnipeg do when it was colder there than Mars differently? Nothing. They sent their kids to school. They were just like, run!
As seen on Netflix, Friday, October 18th, 8 p.m., Diamond Center at Desert Diamond Casino Salarita. Tickets on sale now at the Reward Center or online at etix.com. Don't miss Joel McHale, live.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets and
Getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Speed rush to the line. Fafita will take the snap. Straight back to throw. They pick up the blitz. Looking deep. Going deep. Trying to find McMillan. Comes back to the ball. Makes the catch at the Oklahoma 44-yard line. Wow. All you can say, T-Mac, wow.
He is one of the best receivers in the country. You guys go play. Come on.
Brett Brennan's got jokes when he was asked about Tetro McMillan's status for tonight's ball game to open the season against the New Mexico Lobos. Of course, Tetro McMillan is playing. What are you talking about? We're back out here on the U of A Mall where suddenly it's very comfortable.
Yes,
now that the rain, I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, I had like 2 big things of ice water, and the rain came through, and now it's very nice and comfortable, and it's not real humid either. I thought the humidity might jump up, but that hasn't happened so far. Guys, Tetro McMillan, first Arizona player to be named preseason AP first-team All-American since the Associated Press began this list in 2016. I can't believe that it seems like that list would go back a lot further than 8 years, but a number of preseason accolades for T-Mac coming in, who last year put up a 266-yard performance against the Arizona State Sun Devils. That was the second best receiving performance in school history, next to Jeremy McDaniel, who had 283 against Cal back in 1996. His 90 receiving yards for 1,402 yards. The 1,402 yards, the second best season ever for a Wildcat, next to a guy by the name of Dennis Northcutt, who had 1,422 back in 1999, and he is steadily going up the career list. He is already 8th in career touchdowns at Arizona, and he is also 8th in career receiving yards at Arizona. Tetro McMillan, and although he had an injury in the spring, had to have a surgery, I had a chance to catch up with him at Big 12 Media Day, and I asked him, okay, so you can't really run right now, but I'm sure you're working on your hands. What are some of the things you're doing to make sure your hands stay sharp?
Oh, yeah, I'm always catching the ball, about 200 balls a day, just different spots, different areas, different ways of twisting the body. So, I always got to keep my hands right. I'm always working with Coach Bobby and as well as the other receivers, to just make sure make sure I'm not as rusty coming back. So,
how do you develop, like, a practice plan like that? Like you said, okay, here's what we're going to do today. I want to have 2 balls here or 10 balls here. I want to have 10 balls out here. Who helps you develop how you want to catch balls practicing in different locations?
I'm not even going to take the credit for that. Coach Bobby is a receiver guru, and I trust him. So he comes up with the plan for me, how many balls I catch and how I catch them and where I catch them at. So I trust in him, and I'm just following his footsteps. He's the greatest Arizona wide receiver currently. But
absolutely,
for now.
When you talk about Coach Bobby, you're talking about Bobby Wade in his first season here on the staff with Brent Brennan. So how are his teachings different than Kevin Cummings the last couple of years?
I think it's different because with Coach Bobby, I'm not trying to knock KC because I am the player I am because of KC. He has a big impact on my career and my successes, but Coach Bobby has that NFL experience. He played in the league for 8 years, so not only does he have the college experience, but he has the NFL experience too. And whenever he speaks, he says nothing but wise words, and I'm all ears.
So he would need 1,250 yards to eclipse Bobby Wade this season to become the all-time receiving yardage leader in Arizona history. First of all, it's so great to have Bobby Wade out of that ASU mustard and ketchup and back down here in Tucson.
Let me tell you, Bobby Wade, did you see that thing that Brandon Sanders released on the last day? It's one day until the to Game Day, that film on Bobby Wade.
Right.
No.
Bobby Wade, I said that was just bad. Okay, that was just. I mean, if you see that film that he released on that, Bobby Wade, he and you know the thing is, he is so personable too. He is personable. He wants you to get better. I see him talking to the kids, and when I watch you got to watch the body language of coaches when they talk to the kids, and then what their body language is, and they're all like this. They're all like, we're on the radio, but they're all locked in. They're locked in, dude. They're locked in, and I think that our receiving group is going to get better. And then how does a JC guy get in right away like that? He picks it up because he's teaching, he's getting taught the right things, and he's making them understand.
Oh, you're talking about Jeremiah Patterson.
Jeremiah Patterson coming in right away. That's what I say about a JC. If you coming in as a JC and you start, you got a coach that's coaching you pretty good because you're understanding what's going on in the offense. And that's what is a tribute to all these guys that come in that's why you see these transfers coming in and they're playing well, they're in the scheme, and they're understanding because they're getting communicated the right way.
Let's hear from the quote machine, Dino Babers, on one Tetero McMillan.
I've got like over 40 NFL wide receivers in the league, over 40 guys that became millionaires that I've coached in 36 years. I'm not sure I've met anybody like him. The only person I've seen with catch radius like that is Larry Fitzgerald. And I'm not comparing him to Larry because he played 17 years. I'm just telling you, he's not normal. He may be better than everybody I've ever coached. We'll see. I've coached some really, really good ones. They played really, really well in the pros. But from a college level, he may be better than all of them.
For folks, guys, that maybe don't understand the term catch radius, what does that mean?
That means how you catch outside your body, how far you out, and his arms are long.
Yeah,
his arms are long, and he's 6'4",
and jumping ability.
And he can get up. He's 6'5". He's legit 6'5".
Yeah,
he's taller than me.
Basketball player.
Yeah, he's taller than me. He can get up, and then how he does those one hand jumps. I mean, his radius is really, really, really wide. So I think that and you know what the thing is? The people are going to try to double him. They're going to try to physically get on him, and I think that's going to be good for him to getting into the National Football League. And I think that he's going to be, and it's going to get opportunities for Patterson. It's going to get opportunities for Craig. It's going to get opportunities especially for Kean. The tight end. That's going to be really.
And the run game. We forget about that.
The run game, too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When you're playing over the top and you have to take a guy out the box to put another guy on the receiver, it gives the running back another opportunity to be successful.
All right, we'll get back to more of the offense here straight ahead. But right now, there's a lot of college football happening on this first full Saturday in the United States. Let's get you up to speed.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The College Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, let's start with Friday night in the Big 12. One of our former compadres, Stanford, hosted TCU. Stanford was up in that game early, but TCU came back to win it 34-27. So but that would have been a bad loss for Sonny Dykes and company had they not been able to get that one handled. Colorado got all they wanted from North Dakota State. Shedeur Sanders threw for 445 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of those touchdowns to Travis Hunter, 7 catches for 198 yards to Jimmy Horn Jr., but a lot of conversation about who these Buffaloes are after that. Are they really a good team?
I tell you, Shedeur Sanders, he's a damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, ain't nobody can say anything that he threw that one ball where the pocket was collapsing and he stood right in there and they came right at there. Both sides were coming in and he threw a dart to Horn and he went. It was gone. I mean that's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to really put some pressure on him.
And to me, the real disrespect is to North Dakota State.
That's
a team that make anybody look like they're in a tough situation. So I just feel like that, disrespecting the Division II team, the Division I AA team a little bit there, because that's a team that could beat a lot of Division I teams.
Oh, absolutely.
These are games from Thursday night. Central Florida knocked off New Hampshire 57-3. Kansas over Linwood 48-3. Jalen Daniels 148 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He is considered to be one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. Utah, what a return for Cam Rising. 254 yards, 5 touchdown passes in that ball game for Cam Rising as they beat in-state Southern Utah 49-0. Games today that are final. West Virginia hosted number 8 Penn State. The Nittany Lions win that one by a score of 34-12. Oklahoma State all over South Dakota State. It was 44-20. There was a lot of obviously talk in the offseason about the arrest situation for Ollie Gordon Jr. And he got his college season off to a very good start with a 100-yard rushing performance. He had 27 carries, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns today.
Charlie Dickey said that he's real good.
Real good.
Yeah, he said
Ollie Gordon?
He goes, he could be something special.
Yeah.
Because he's the O-line coach there at Oklahoma State.
Cincinnati knocks off Townsend from Baltimore 38-20. Iowa State beats North Dakota 21-3. There's 4 games in progress right now. We got a lot of teams now to go through. 16 teams in the Big 12. Kansas State leading UT Martin 14-0. Baylor over Tarleton State 21-0. That game's in the first quarter. UNLV is leading at Houston 7-0. That's late first quarter. No score, just getting underway. Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. 3 games tonight. BYU will host Southern Illinois. Arizona State will host Wyoming. And, of course, here it'll be Arizona and New Mexico. All right, that is a look at your scoreboard.
The College Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, Captain's Corner is up next. David Hinton, 2012 cornerback, is going to join us on the show. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day coming to you right now from a much cooler east side of the U of A Mall with Kelvin Eafon and Glenn Howell. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style. And top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
As coach of the Wildcats, I know the importance of teamwork. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Is your AC system more than 10 years old and costing you too much in repairs? Beat the heat, call Right Way. Get a new system with 10-year parts warranty, 10-year labor warranty, and 60 months no interest financing. Make replacing easier on your wallet. Call today.
Don't delay. Call or text 520-657-0699. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic offers military discounts to retired and disabled veterans, and they now accept patients with access insurance. For more information and to find the location nearest you, visit firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires. And right now, we've got more rebates and savings than ever. Now's the time to buy. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the details. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go. Air down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. And now, here is the captain, Kelvin Eafon.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Eafon. Our guest today is David Hinton, a defensive back from the class of 2012 here at the U of A. D. Hint, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, how's it going, my man?
Oh, man, it's going pretty good, man. I was excited to have you on because I feel like you bring a unique perspective of you played for Coach Akina. He's now here as the defensive coordinator. And also you have a top recruit coming here as your son. First off, tell me what you've been up to, man.
Man, out here giving doing work at Self-Grad. Just doing a little social work up in the Upper Phoenix area.
Are you still involved with youth football? Because I know for a long time with your sons, you was involved with youth football. Are you still doing that up there as well?
Not as much. We do a little bit of training. It's like training with a few different families. But just got my full in the social field. So allow myself to take a back seat for right with the hopes of getting back into it in the near future.
Oh, so I remember you came in '98. Tell me some what did you remember about the '98 season and the '98 team?
Just honestly speaking, I think Coach Company, Coach Ellerton, Coach Becker, some of those from back then, everything.
Hey guys, we're gonna see if we can get David on a better line there. His phone is kind of cracking up, so let's see if we can get him on a better line. We'll come back to him, but Kelvin, obviously, David Henton played here kind of towards the end of your time. Here is when he came in, as you mentioned, 1998. He's had a couple of sons, or one son that's already been in the program as a walk-on, DJ, who went over here to Tucson High a few years back, and now Deshaun, who I tell people all the time, man, I've never seen anybody in youth football do some of the things that young man did here about 5 or 6 years ago when he was playing for the Falcons. Your son, KJ, plays for the Falcons now, and I still remember the tapes, and one play in particular that stands out to me. And J-Dub, do we have a better line now with David? Are we still? We do?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
good.
Go ahead,
good.
David. We'll have you back now. We'll have Kelvin pick back up with you.
Yeah, I was saying, tell me some of the things that you remember from the '98 season.
No, just a family-oriented feel. I think, some of the mainstays with Tina, Babers, Ellison, all being under Tony and his regimen. I think he had that family-oriented feel. And to me, I think they bring that back, just a little bit more knowledgeable, a lot more wisdom for them to be back and be a part of the regimen of Brent Brennan. Is an awesome feel. Dejan obviously loves it, so I'm allowing him to do what he wants to do.
Who recruited you here? How did you end up here at the U of A? Because I know you was a pretty good athlete, a basketball player as well.
Believe it or not, Coach Babers and my mom grew up together down in southern San Diego, and the rest kind of took care of itself. Babers knew the landscape out there. He had great relationships with a lot of the high school head coaches down in San Diego, and my name happened to be buzzing at the time. So I was very fortunate that he came down to San Diego and plucked me up out of there.
Who were some of the players that you played here at the U of A with that left an impression in your mind over the years when you were playing here?
If there were like certain players in particular, coming in there, I had the opportunity, to learn from yourself. Chris McAllister, Raphael Jones, Deshaun Pope, some of those grittier sort of players who kind of breathe the game, and taking some of that in and going to the peers that I grew up with the likes of Lance, B-Wade. There's a lot of guys in my class who kind of picked up on that as well. So it was an opportunity to just learn as much as I can from the guys who really had a passion for the game.
And what were some of the games that stood out during your time that you played here? What was some of the games that you played in, or even some of the games that you witnessed during that '98 year?
So I'm gonna be honest. It was that UCLA game there at home. I was blown away at just the fact of how dominant Deshaun Foster was as a freshman. I mean, I knew what sort of team we had, and we competed all night long. But to see how that dude was taking the banging and he's spinning off the tackles, and we was giving him everything that we had. I didn't have the opportunity to play in that game, but I watched that game, and it resonated throughout my entire career at the U of A because that was the pinnacle of it. That was the peak of it at the time, and it just so happened to be the only loss that we took that particular year. But for that senior group and those leaders that we had that particular year, I mean, you think back on it, it didn't get no better than that for us from the football scene, you know what I mean? So I actually we were able to go back home to the Holiday Bowl, and my son was born. My oldest son was born during that time. So, it created memories for myself forever, just being back in my hometown as well, for that particular game.
What's up? No, I remember that San Diego trip well, man. So tell us a little bit about how your son ended up getting recruited here and what made you guys change from Arizona State. We talked a little bit earlier, but I wanted you to be able to tell that to the fans out there.
Okay. No, without a doubt. So they actually had an awesome relationship with the staff up north in ASU, and his high school coach went over to ASU and took a position on the staff. And believe it or not, Coach Dillingham did a great job, showing Dejan a lot of support and things along those lines. The staff was actually fantastic, in my eyes as a parent. However, I think Dejan passionately wanted to be connected with that family sort of feel. And, with myself playing there, his older brother playing there, a lot of his quote-unquote uncles playing there, just in the brotherhood that he was brought up under. He took a passionate approach and wanting to carry that torch. So, he went down to Tucson after he made that commitment, played in the 7th tournament. The coaches loved up on him, spoke their part, convinced him to take the trip. And like I spoke to you earlier, I think the straw that kind of made him flip his commitment was a talk that he had with Coach Aquina. And, I had already told him stories about Coach Aquina and how passionate of a coach he was and how fired up he could get. And, and knowing the player that Dejan is, for him to get excited about that particular talk and knowing that he wanted to be coached by a coach like that, well, during our trip, we walked into Keenan's office. He put together a film, a highlight of other players along with Dejan, and it almost brought us to tears, just being honest. And, I kind of felt his decision was made before we left Coach Aquina's office that evening.
Hey, David Kelly here. I was while we were trying to get your phone right, I was about to tell the story about when I was working at Channel 13 and I went out to cover the city championships one year, and Deshaun was out there, and I'll never forget this. He returns a kick for a touchdown, probably about 670 yards, and there was a penalty, so the play got negated. So they went back, kicked off again, and he returned it again, and he got to the end zone, and he just about fell out. He was so tired. I was like, man, this kid is special.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but also as a coach, you already know once the kids have to run a 100-yard sprint down the field, and then, you call them back, chances are they're going to be a little winded. So he had a little bit more stamina than them, let's just say, on that particular play.
D-Hit, this is Glenn Howell.
I remember it.
D-Hit, this is Glenn Howell. I got a question. What's happening, man? Hey, you talked about the family situation that Arizona brings, of guys who are together, and then you talk about the coaching, but just tell us a little bit of what you think about how your son's going to benefit from just being with Dwayne Aquina as a teacher.
I think the knowledge and wisdom of Aquina is huge. There was a point in our lives about 15 years ago now where their mom passed away, and we were really down in the dumps, so to speak. But when I talk about that family, we had a few of the staff members that are there in the building that are close friends come and kind of pick us up, help us move out of our house, move into another house, and get back on our feet, so to speak. And the kids remember that. And we've been living through this the entire time. So when I say family means a lot to us, myself, Dejan, I think, Aquina, in knowing our background, was able to hit home that he would do his best to give him the answers that he was looking for, and he understood the why that Dejan played with.
Yeah.
So a lot of that communication between them is what it was that sold the deal with him. Like, they knew he was a family-oriented kid, and just wanted to make sure he knew that they were taking that same approach with him and would do whatever it took to bring out, everything they could in him. So the rest is history from there.
David,
yeah, and the thing is that the why is real important for them.
David Hidden is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Ferrier Tire and Auto. Jack Ferrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. Go ahead, Glenn. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry.
I had to get to my sponsor.
I know you got to get to
my
it.
sponsor.
I know.
He's somebody.
And I cut him off.
I had to get to my sponsor.
But that was my question, man. That was my question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was going to ask you, man. You played for Coach Tomey, and you understood. I mean, you couldn't play for Coach Tomey if you didn't understand that family type atmosphere. Tell me a story about Coach Tomey that you remember that stands out to you.
It's so many stories about Coach Tomey. Some of them we really can't share on air, but the one thing that I'll share about Coach Tomey that a lot of people don't know about is how passionate he is about his own family and respect to how that spews over to Arizona football. Miss Donna has always been an integral part of his life and his football life, allowing him to go out there and just, enjoy it. And, to see her so passionate about it and so supportive, I think it resonates. So Akina had a lot more fire in the past. I think he's a lot calmer now, even though he carries some of that same fire. He just smiles a whole lot. So I think he's at a point where he's really enjoying things. And I'm just happy that Dejan could, take in some of that accrued knowledge and just maximize who he is as a player, as a student athlete, and as a person.
And tell us a little bit about how he's done the other night. I think they had one game so far. Tell us a little bit how he's looking so far.
You know what? I think he's pretty excited. I think the coaching staff over at Hamilton High School has done a great job of kind of placing the governor on him, not allowing him to get out there and play, every down, and especially at the beginning of the season. So, we're missing last season and coming back this season and feeling good. They want to make sure, he's there for the duration of the season. And a lot of the talk is, as long as they got a healthy team, they got a chance. And, they got a real good ball club, skilled players. They got a number of different skilled players. The inside, the interior D-line, offensive line, probably some of the best kids in the entire state. So, as long as this team stays healthy, they'll have the opportunity to play with some of those upper echelon teams. But I think Dejan himself, he'll have the opportunity to show everybody, what he does. I think his game can kind of speak for itself right now. His strength is on the defensive side of the ball. However, I think later on in the season, Hamilton has a few tricks up their sleeves to where they'll give him the opportunity to make a difference on that side of the ball when the time comes. But he has a great supporting cast of teammates. They've been extremely supportive of him there, and I like their chances moving forward throughout this season.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on today, man. First game of the season. Give me a little prediction of what you think could happen this season going into in our first season in the Big 12.
Man, I think, as you know, it's going to sound pretty cliche, but the sky's the limit. What I enjoy, what I really enjoy is seeing those kids love up on one another, support one another, even with the uprise of Arizona football. I think Brent, Babers, Akina, that entire staff, even bringing in, B. Wade and some of the younger guys that are on staff, they're doing a great job of building that camaraderie of the guys, almost making it like a family feel. So I think, they got something cooking. And if I could predict, I think, starting out with this game, one of Dejan's closest friends is the starting quarterback on the other team. They went to high school together.
Devin Dampier.
Dampier.
Devin Dampier. Yeah, great kid. However, he going to have his hands full tonight. To get off to a good start. Yeah.
Well, our thanks to David Hinton for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Eafon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's so hot and sticky, I can't stand this humidity. I'm melting.
So you can either check for hot flashes and duct or call Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
It's not hot flashes.
We're calling Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing right now at 520-492-0748.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT.
Arizona. Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man. Hot. Touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stutes. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
Let's go.
Air Downcast. Our window depot coverage of U of A football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to kick off on Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we should be getting pretty.
Originally from Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler, Arizona. Are you a student here at the University of Arizona?
Former student, did undergrad here, and changing careers led me to pharmacy school and wound up back here.
Oh, so you're in pharmacy school with our guy Austin over here.
Just graduated, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He won some tickets